Good evening from Nick G4IWO, Chair of Pennine Ham, the club's digital net on Reflector XLX305D. Will start in just 3 minutes' time at 7:30 p.m. 18:30 UTC. The digital net will start at 7:30 p.m. just in 3 minutes' time, and I think tonight we're being chaired by Jeff M0AUG. See you in a couple of minutes.
DL1BJW.
Maybe it's 6. Yeah, I've got to be at Ken's at 7:15 or something to get down there for 8:15 to set up.
CQ, this is M0AUG, calling from my home station up on the Flower Coast for all members and friends of Pennine Ham for this evening's digital hunt. We'll go down the list as people are on the screen. I think some might be just monitoring, others might be, just wondering what we're all up to. So, we'll go to 2E0RIRI. Are you joining the net this evening? M0AUG, good evening. Nothing else from Ken there. Must be monitoring. The GCO EDB, are you joining us this evening or just monitoring, Paul? Nothing else from Paul, so we'll go down to Taunton now to M7CRM. Good evening. Chris, are you joining us? It'll take us so far, but we'll give them a chance later on. Over to Northern Germany, please, from Mike and Adriana. DL1BJW with DL8BDT. Good evening to you both. And hope you both well. M0AUG, over to you, Mike.
Certainly, my one, Bravo Juliet. Just a very good evening, one and all. And, glad to be here again and very excited. The news and things we will hear in the next 60 minutes, I think. Yeah, we are okay. Thank you very much. Hope the same applies to you, Jeff and Maureen, and of course all the others as well. And we have been a little bit busy in the meantime since the last meeting. First of all, the video or the Zoom video yesterday was very entertaining and very informative. It was a session, so to speak, and the speaker is really a very nice person. Who has a lot of entertaining factors, so to speak. That was a nice experience. Yeah, and as I said, we have been busy on the bands, especially with very low power, that's to say 500 milliwatts or 0.5 watts. And I can tell you that we have had two contacts, two QSOs on CW, with the NFET half-wave with 500 milliwatts to Romania and to the. That's nice. It's always a little bit difficult to get a real QSO going on there. With less power, so to speak, but sometimes it succeeds, and that's a very good success then. Otherwise, there was a contest last weekend, RTTY contest. Well, on my part here, I worked the US coast and the Midwest and Canada, as well as Brazil, but I had again no luck with two stations which appeared there from St. Helena Island and Indonesia. I tried to reach them, even pushing the power a little bit higher to 100 watts, but nothing doing there. They couldn't read me, and so no successes there. Well, that's all from my side for this over. Passing the microphone to Delta Lima for Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Very good evening, all of you. It's very good to be with you this evening. Today's talk was thing, and I think it's also kind of philosophy which he explained. I think it's quite important to think about the paradigm that a theory is only and that it is possible that it can be a little bit changed if one has new results. And I think always in any means make the thought that we take the theory for granted. And so it's quite interesting he has explained. It was a nice evening yesterday. So I hand the microphone back to M0 AUG for the group.
DL1 AJW, thanks for your greetings to both of us there, like our Jana. Always good to have you two on with that. Right, we'll go over to our return to leader now. G4IWO in the group,
M0 AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff, and nice to be back as it was at last night's meeting. And as always, can't you achieve the most amazing results using low power in amateur radio? It's really one of the great pleasures of life, in my view, when you consider how, consider the power output that you were using, Mike and Adriana, on that half a watt transmitter today compared to the power output of a small torch, battery torch that you might hold in your hand, much lower for your radio, and yet able to make contacts and listen to people 100 miles away. But last night I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good to be back from France. I was only able to make a couple of contacts in France. Not more than a couple of contacts, but a couple of longish activations on Parks on the Air, although conditions were not brilliant. And I worked from two separate locations in France. I didn't quite get enough to earn an activation as an activator on one of them. I think I made 8 QSOs, just couldn't get the final ones I wanted, and I definitely made an activation on the other. But I've submitted both the logs because obviously hunters can still get credit for making contact with me in a park, even if I don't get credit as an activator of that park. It's not classified as an activation. But anyway, that was all good fun. And last night was extremely good, really enjoyed it. Frank is very entertaining. And he's dropped me a note today to say that he was talking to Dr. Scott McIntosh, who I know is the senior manager behind Linker Space, the company that's now been set up to do work on solar and astrophysical research and on solar physics. And Frank says he's a very, very good speaker, very entertaining speaker, and he's happy to come and give us a talk in a bit more depth on solar physics and space weather. I noticed that the company that he's the vice president of, Scott McIntosh's company, includes on the board Dr. Tamitha Skov as a strategic advisor, the space weather woman, as she's known on her YouTube channel. So back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG in the group G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group M0 telling, and good very back then, Nick, and sounds a very interesting holiday anyway. Yes, the tour last night was very, very good, and obviously if Frank is able to help us to arrange some further talks in the future, especially the company connected with Telescope, then that will be also very, very good indeed. So, over to Peter and Silverbush now. M0 PBF in the group, M0 AG. Good evening, Peter.
M0 AUG, M0 PBF. Good evening, Jeff. Good evening, everybody. Quite a pleasant evening here in Stonebridge. Hardly any wind and only a few scattered clouds in the sky, although we had one or two downpours during the day. Yes, I very much enjoyed Frank's talk last night. He's talking about correlation, which is an interesting subject, and the ability to predict events. It doesn't lead us any further into causation. But the Macintosh correlation seems to be good, and I think is the basis for even further research. I'd be very interested to hear any further talks on space weather. I knew nothing about it until I got interested in amateur radio, and then the areas that really interest me are the areas of propagation and the effects of space weather, and particularly low power propagation. What I do now is I am not on any occasion now using more than 5 watts on FT8, because when I compared the results that I'd got on FT8 at 25 watts and the results at 5 watts, there was no real difference in the signal to noise ratios I was receiving at 5 watts or at 25 watts. So there we are. So back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG, M0 PBF.
M0 PBF in the group, M0 AUG. Yeah, thanks for that, Peter. And interesting topics that you mentioned there. Let's see if Mark's others are in Swansea now. Whiskey 0, Delta India Mike, M0 AUG.
0 AUG and W0 DIF. Yeah, good evening to you and the group. Yeah, I've had a really busy week. I've had a few immediately pressing DIY jobs to do, so they're out of the way. Got a new bar fitted because there was a leak in the pipe underneath. Wrecked pretty much my bathroom floor. Then I had sweating laminate underlay, which wrecked my carpet. So my hallway looks a mess, but it's dry now anyway, that's the main thing. And I went out and splashed out Shido G90, which I've wanted for a while. I've probably discussed this group a few times. Sitting in a box under my bed. I've had it out a couple of times. And I've used it on a couple of loops just for receiving, though. I haven't had a transmitted loop yet. So I'm going to probably build maybe a vertical lab and try that out. It should be really good fun. I want one for a while. There's so many good reviews on it. And it's QRP, which I like anyway. So hopefully in the next few weeks, obviously work permitting, I'm able to build some sort of vertical and use that up a mountain, which is about 12 miles from me. There's a mountain. It's about a couple of thousand feet high. So PVC pole in, pop the aerials. I got a battery for it, one of those rechargeable lithiums. One of these 8 amp hour ones, so last a couple of hours. So that's basically been used from me this week. So yeah, busy week, emergency DIY, and I thought I'd treat myself with the G90 then. Smaller in the flesh than it looks on YouTube. It looks quite a chunky little device on YouTube, but actually get one in your hand, it's not much bigger than a paperback book. Anyway, that's it for me for this, my happenings this week. So back to you, M0 AUG in the group. This is MW0 DIM.
DIM in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yeah, quite a lot of people seem to be interested in Shido and appreciation is not on this evening because he's got experience, I think, with the 80s and the 90s, and I'm not sure whether Mike and Adriana have got a Shido between them, but forgive me if I'm wrong on that one. So, over to you there, Lou, now. Apologies about last week when you missed out on the picture, and I'm sure we'll catch up again this week. And also welcome to anybody else who's listening to us on the YouTube channel, and lower down the list, I don't know whether it's he's coming on live or just listening on YouTube. So we'll see what's happening there. So, good evening to you, Lou. GAKJJ in the group, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG in the group, GAKJJ. Very good evening, Jeff, and a good evening to everyone. The WX in Nottingham, we've had very heavy showers with squalls, high winds just for short periods of time, and torrential rain. But that seems to have cleared up. The temperature about 15 degrees Celsius, and it was starting to dry out, but it was very torrential for a short period of time. The band conditions for me have been very good. The sunspot number 200 over 200 gave great conditions for DX hunting. Although, having said that, I've only worked in country, that being St. Vincent. And when I started started 88, I wanted to work as many different countries as possible. And after 1.5 years, I've worked 161 on FT8. It's beginning to get quite hard to increase the number of countries because of the activation of these very rare sites. Anyway, tonight I'm using an ID50E, so I may sound differently. How's the audio? Anyway, back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG in the group, GAKJJ.
Yeah, in the group. You have nothing wrong with the audio. Good video, good relation. Ago before the 52s, but still good radio. And I might just mention from Icon radios, the IC92 was my original Icon radio. And in fact, Aaron, who runs the scale, he bought it from me many moons ago. And he always says, if you just radio football, when he had it switched off for a while, because it's a click switch off, the battery doesn't deteriorate until you switch it back on again. And when it comes back on again, if you don't anyway. So I come from that one. So before we go to the next one, we were listening on GB7HX, who wants to join the net, and thank you for facilitating. Nothing in GB7HX. Now then, you were missing last week, and everybody was wondering where you were. Oh, you've technically you sorted out, and they're welcome back tonight. M4X18 in the group, M0 AUG. M0 AUG with the group, November 4 X Alpha Tango. Are you receiving me, Jeff? Yeah, moving for you now. Go ahead, please. Thank goodness. I redid the whole system. Apparently the problem wasn't local. And finally, on 2 days ago, I was able to connect again. And it just so happened that Jeff in Belgium happened to be on this node, and I was able to contact him for at least that I was being out with. So I'm glad that things are back in order. I replaced everything. I replaced the program. There were a couple of different things that happened. Apparently there was a problem at PA7LIM who takes care of Doozy. Other than that, Microsoft made a couple of changes also. They changed my port numbers. But I figured almost immediately, and that wasn't what was helping me from getting on. It just wouldn't log on until 2 days ago. So, thank goodness I'm back. The weather here right now, it's 28 degrees Celsius and sunny. We do expect rain for the next 2 days, beginning at about 2300 Zulu today. So, but the weather really hasn't been too bad here recently. One thing that I have noticed, and apparently it's because we are getting closer to fall when 40 meters is starting to open up for me, and recently I've done a lot more on 40 than I usually can do. It's getting to the point where during the daytime I can get signals on 40 where usually it used to disappear very early in the morning. Now I can start to begin getting signals there. I always used to look forward to October. First school October, I used to be able to work 160. Of course, I don't have facilities for 160 anymore, but I used to really enjoy it. And that's when I knew that the weather was really changing. And congratulations to Mike and Adriana with their half watt. I just can't believe Romania and the UK. That is beautiful, and I'm sure that there are other stations. Matter of fact, the other day you had one, I forget what it was, but you had put out a note on our WhatsApp. where it was interesting. Also this week I received a nice note from Frank about the recovery of World War I submarine U-16, and it's a shame when they went to recover it broke in half. But they did both sides of it. So I was happy to hear that, but I was really
N4XAT.
was Jeff.
N4XAT. GM4JKZ.
I lost Jeff also. I lost Jeff also, maar ik zeg AUG of wat betekent wat you there, Jeff? Nothing heard from Jeff. Maybe Jeff has a problem. I will take it over for a minute. It's Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Alpha Jim. Are you around? From moment 8 nog aan mijn tango in de groep.
Yeah, Golf 4. Yeah, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Alpha. Can you copy me, all right, Jeff? Break.
100% Jim. Go ahead.
ON8NT.
Now I lost you, Jim. Jim, could you try again?
Yeah, Golf 4 Juliet Bravo Alpha. Good evening to everybody on the net, and it's been a funny old week this week down here. I'm glad that hopefully that Nick had a good time in France, like we did here, but now it's really turned the water taps on. But news at the moment from here. I had Keith down, GM4 JKZ, for a few days on his way back to Scotland, and he's my shack, being health and safe, and also a man that dealt with occupational health. I've had my chair adjusted. I've been told what to
do with my rig, and we're going to have to build some shelving to adjust my posture so that I don't have more pain than I've got. Anyhow, I've got more news. We'll do that on the next round. So, back to you there, Jeff. G4JPA. Okay, I will take it. Just got a message from Jeff that he has an open spot problem. But now he sent another message that he is back in. Anyway, it's my turn. QRX. Okay, it's my turn to speak, and I will give the microphone to Jeff again on the end of my over. Well, very good evening, very good afternoon to everyone. Also on YouTube, hope everything is well. Weather-wise, we had for the moment 70 degrees. Yesterday we had terrible weather, torrential rain, thunderlight, storm, wind, unbelievable. This afternoon we had a little bit the same, but now it's calmed down, so things are improving, and we are expecting a nice weekend with 25 degrees on Saturday and even 28 degrees on Sunday, so that sounds good. I really liked the Zoom session yesterday. I really enjoyed that because it was another way of looking to this and also showing us a little bit what is behind everything, the discussions in the scientific world, so to say, and to see how this is working. And I found this circle of evolution and science very interesting, actually. So I really, really enjoy that, and I'm looking forward, Nick, to Professor McIntosh. That would be superb. Okay, no. Congratulations, Mike and Adriana, on your QRTP test. Very good. I really like you. Your own USX was no problem at all with the ID50. Really sounds excellent. I will tell more on the next over, and I will hand over the microphone again to Mike 0 AUG, the group, 08 November Tango. Go ahead, Jeff.
08 November Tango in the group M0 AUG resetting, and thanks as ever, Jeff, for stepping in just there. I don't know what happened with the open spot, but a quick reset soon sorted it out. So there we are. Right. I'm not sure whether our next contestants on this one is actually back home in the borders or we're still away. So we'll try. GM4JKZ in the group, M0 AUG.
0 AUG in the group, GM4JKZ. Yeah, back to normal now, thank goodness. And an interesting couple of weeks we've had. A bit late on parade tonight because the hotspot I normally use, the one I'm on now, minor repairs on the power socket. I plugged the 5-volt lead into the back and broke the connector, but when I took it apart, rather than being unglued from the base because you hot melt glue, it actually pushed the connector off the PCB. So it's now got two USB-C connectors, USB-C sockets on it, which are push fit, a bit like a rocker switch fitting. And I've used the two-part adhesive to make sure that they stay put, and it's working a treat at the moment, he says, touch wood. I missed yesterday's talk. Yeah, I got back at a reasonable time, but the weather on the way back up the M1 from London or from Jim's via London, it was lovely and sunny, and then we hit the north, and believe it or not, I was actually in the snow lane doing about 35 miles an hour amongst the lorries, and you still got the idiots flying up at 70. You could hear them, but you couldn't see them. 2 lanes over was that, and it was so dark, so I decided to play safe. So I'll have a look at that later on. That sounds absolutely fascinating.
Took them last week, and yeah, I'm with Jim. Had a week across with Jim, playing around on his. It's got a lovely setup, but yeah, I looked at. If you look at someone on Zoom, you can see them sitting there with the background, but it's only when you go and see them you can look at all the issues that are not helping them. And yeah, I'm afraid to say, 30+ years as a health and safety professional, focusing, one of my specialisms was DSE workstation assessments. I sorted Jim out, designed him a shelf unit to sit on top of his shelf, which will change the angle of his back, the angle of his neck, and the angle of his shoulder, and the angle of his elbow. Enough of that. I'll get back to you there. 14 degrees up here today. M0 AUG with a group, TM4JKZ.
TM4JKZ, group M0 AUG. Yeah, fine, I gave him good to have you back at home, basically. And I know you enjoyed your time down there with Jim as well. So that's also good. Right, so let's go back to the top of the list. We'll just try the ones who logged on and made us come on first time. 2E0, hi. Are you joining us for a brief chat there, Cam? M0 AUG. And over to you, Paul, G0TVB in the group, M0AG. And finally, to Chris in Thornton, M7CR in the group, M0AG. Just checking, is there anybody else who wants to join to GB78Checks repeater? And thanks once again for the facility welcome. Right, back to the top of the list. DL1 VJW with the LAP. It's quite a long group this evening, so you've had to wait a while. And there we are, 11 was on all together, active ones anyway. Over to you there, Mike. M0AG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Julie Whiskey. Yes, it's a great group this evening. That's nice. That's very good. Yeah, Whiskey 0 Delta India Mike. Congrats to your new rig from Zygo. Adriana owns one of these and is very happy with it, and we wish you good results with it. About the prospect of future talks on space weather, that would be really great, especially if we could get Dr. Skov to give the talk, but I'm not expecting that, but everyone else is also gladly accepted that, and would be a very interesting topic. The conditions on the bands are improving, but we have had not so good results on the shorter bands in the last weeks. It got a little bit better in the last 7 days there. On 10 meters, I've heard nothing for a long time, or nothing could be worked for a long time there, but in the last week I could work a station from Mexico, X-ray, Echo 2 X-ray in CW with 50 watts and the infrared half wave. That was nice. And also could work on 12 meters, Echo 29 Tango Golf Whiskey, also in CW from Thailand, with the indoor long wire in the loft. So that was nice, yeah. And at last, finally, some days ago, I finally managed to get an FT8 contact on 17 meters in Fox sound mode with 45 watts to Tango 30 Tango Tango in Kiribati, which is east of Papua New Guinea and north of Fiji. And I've tried this one really for a long time, never with any success, but this time I succeeded and I'm very happy about that. The conditions were just for a short time better for me, and so it clicked, so to speak, and could be worked. That was a real nice experience. Glad about that. Yeah. That's the results from my side. Passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, first of all, MW0DIM, Mark, congratulations to your Zygo G90. I think you will be very pleased with this. It's quite a good rig, and especially for portable use, it's quite amazing because of its tuner, which tunes any antenna. It's very, very good. So it will be interesting what you can work with this rig in portable use. Yes, from my side, I can't report very much, except of the S8 successes with the 0.5 watts. It was quite interesting to see how far one can get with such low power, and I think I wouldn't have tried it if my TrueSDX would have worked properly with the DC socket, and only because we have the fault with the DC socket, which was a few weeks ago. I tried the USB socket, and which brought me into the QMPP business. So that's amazing. So that's all from my side. I hand the microphone back to M0AUG for the.
Delay BT with DL1 BJW. Thank you both as usual for your contributions on that. And it's certainly quite a number of people who get fixed out. Obviously, you've got experience in it, and which can help everybody else. So, back over to you. There's a challenge for you. Get down to the school. I know she's been on nominations mostly since not since it started. But Bob Howes runs the nomination team there, and she's very, very lively. I'm sure you've seen her and goes down very, very well. So now she starts at the top. Good to you there, Nick. G4IW in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, thank you for that challenge, Jeff. I do like those challenges. Although, funnily enough, when we've really tried to get some of the big name speakers in amateur radio and science related subjects, we've had very few that have ever turned us down just because they're too busy or they can't fit in with the schedule. The most likely problem with any speaker is fitting in with the time of the meeting that we're running. And I guess, for a big speaker that's well known, I think I would be open to, having a meeting at a different time of the day if that made it more possible for them to get there. But no, Frank's copied Scott McIntosh into our group. He's joined as a subscriber to our YouTube channel. So Scott, if you happen to, out of interest, listen to our digital net, you'll hear reference to you in the net, and very much hope we can sort out a date and time for you to come, Scott. So there we go, Jeff. Direct appeal to Scott McIntosh, who's now a subscriber to the Pennine Ham YouTube channel. And to Mark down in Swansea, Zygu G90 is a very popular radio, particularly from portable operators, because as Mike and Adriana both said, it does contain a built-in ATU, which is a big plus. And it's also got that advantage over the FT817, 818 and even the ICOM 705 on the internal battery, that both those radios are really only running 5 watts or 6 watts for the 818. On single sideband, my experience generally is you can make contacts running QRP, but it is more difficult. And if you can run at 20 watts, you're much more likely to make those contacts. That's my experience. So my apologies to Steve and the fellow members of the GQRP Club. Ken and I are just getting ready today to travel down early tomorrow morning to Newark to set up the club stand and the GQRP Club stand down there. And we've got Henry, M0ZAE, and Amanda coming in to help us look after the 2 stalls. So we'll be absolutely fine, and very much looking forward to it. And my daughter has given me the challenge based on Jeff 018NC sent me an email today pointing out that the applications can now be made from schools for between now and the end of October for an ISS schools contact next year. And I've passed that on to my daughter, who's already been in contact with me, to say that she set up a meeting with the head of science at the school tomorrow to have a chat with him about it and see if they can put an application in. And I've offered to work with them on the school application. So cross our fingers, and we'll see if we can get a secondary school in a very deprived area of Liverpool, a girls' school, to make radio contact with the space station. That would be great fun. Back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG in the group G4IWO.
G4IWO group M0 AUG returning. Yeah, I know you like a challenge, I think that's why I said it that way. But it would be really fun if Thomas Scott came from nowhere. I watched Amnesh for many years. I've been watching you recently, but she actually came from nowhere to do these presentations on Amnesh, and I went down an absolute bomb. And I think she'd be a really good presenter. And I'll go along with you if we could get her to come along at a different time of the day from an all to her meeting to suit her schedule. I go along with that because she's very good to listen to. Thoroughly full of knowledge and very active on the screen if you've not seen her. So over to you there, Peter. M0 PBF in the group. M0 AUG.
M0 AUG, M0 PBF. Well, I've been a little bit distracted in the last 15 minutes or so, watching KLM 162 from Schiphol to San Francisco, landing at San Francisco. My son-in-law's on board it. He's going to the World Human Power Speed Challenge at Battle Mountain in Nevada. He did this 2 years ago, and the British record is, I'm just trying to find it in my notes here, it's about 79 miles an hour. They're literally fared in horizontal bikes, and that Russ managed to achieve when he last went 73 miles an hour, and he's been in training for the last 10 months to see if he can actually get over 80 miles an hour. So there we go. So we'll see how it goes. So this World Human Powered Speed Challenge is from the 7th to the 13th of September in Nevada there. And yes, low power. I did a series of whisper experiments on different bands at 200 milliwatts some couple of 3 months ago. In fact, I must repeat them soon. And I got as far on 200 milliwatts to Reunion Island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and I have no idea how that is possible. I tried to work out some of the propagation equations and just came up with absolutely silly answers. So there we are. And I'm regularly using a Zygo 6100 now on FT8 at 5 watts. So more people on FT8 would use lower power, because I'm constantly having to monitor that I'm transmitting in a blank space, so that I've got some chance of being heard, because more powerful stations just jump on top. So there we are. Back to you, Jeff. 0 AUG, 0 PBF.
Returning. Yeah, fine enough, and thank you for that, Peter. I'm off the air at the moment as far as HF transmissions are concerned, and my wonderful ITS 120, which has been stuck on the roof for about 4 years, is probably now absolutely waterlogged and frosted up, or whatever, rusted up. So I'm obviously waiting for some friends up here to come and help with that. But no problem. We have the digital next. We have VHF, UHF, not on the air. There's plenty to play with, isn't there, in the meantime? Over to you there, Mark. W0DIM in the group. M0AUG.
0 AUG in the group, and 0 DIM. Yeah, so I'm so looking forward to getting that radio up his box properly. And, giving it furniture status and the living room then. Yeah, I was umming and ahhing. It's like sort of jumping up a diving board. You fall forward, then you fall back. And all of a sudden I thought, what the heck, I should buy one. They're cheap anyway. I mean, you could spend a double or triple that on a half-decent laptop. And a laptop doesn't get you on HF, does it? It can help with the programs, propagation programs, and, probably AI to design circuitry and that to help you out with hobby, etc. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Sometimes you've got to sort of take a gamble with cheap equipment, whatever you buy, you know. I've been using cheap cars over the years, and they've been alright. But it's just don't sort of always listen to what you read in the media about sort of cheaper goods, because quite often you get a gem pops out, like these Zygo radios and that. Yeah, I'm just curious to ever build digital handheld with the same build quality, because these things are just like built like a tank, isn't it? It's all metal and everything. Just stunning build quality. So yeah, what I've been doing, I've been busy on DMR over the school holidays. I've worked quite a few countries, and D-Star, of course, and there's one guy, I've got his call sign, so I can't quite remember what it was. He was living with a tribe in the Amazonian jungle. I managed to talk to him on D-Star. Either 1 Charlie or 30 Charlie, I can't quite remember what it was. That was very interesting, QSO actually. I've been busy on that. DMR, Talk Group 91, is like an airport. Hardly getting a word in edgeways there. It's so busy, it's incredible. And that's what I've been kind of up to. So I'm looking to construct a nice discrete vertical for this HF. And believe it or not, I've always used other people's HF rigs years ago. It's the first HF rig I've actually bought myself, but I call my own. I've always borrowed clubs, equipment, used clubs equipment and that, or a mate of mine had a license years ago, which to go on his HF. But, yeah, first time. Actually, personally, I've ever owned one. So, yeah, I'm quite pleased about that. And, yeah, that's about it. I haven't had much to talk about today. Just got back in work yesterday. And, yeah, not very happy with that. Right then. Yeah, I have to say really, to be honest. So I'll hand the mic back to M0AUG, MW0DIM, and the group.
W0DIM and the group M0AG. I'm looking forward to hearing how you get on with the new radio there. Now, I'm not going to do it this time round, Lou, but after this over, we'll go into the final round, and I've got a big picture for us at the end of that. Just briefly back to you. JKJJ M0AG.
M0AUG and the group JKJJ. Yeah, I'm not send a picture, Jeff, but I will decode the pictures that you and the group and see how it goes, because I'm not terribly au fait with this rig. Anyway, I'll pass it back. Is that what you wanted to know? Go ahead.
Yes, that's fine to be going on with, Lou. If you want to now go ahead with your over, this isn't the last round. We'll get into this lot and then we'll do the round 3 at the beginning and I'll bring you in again. But over to you for now. JKJJ M0AG.
Yeah, M0AUG GAKJA. Yeah, fine, Jeff. Well, first of all, congratulations, Mike and Adriana, on your success on CW and FT8. It's very good indeed. I did hear Guam, and I did try and work the station, but and that would have been a new country for me, but I didn't manage that. During the last week, I've been spending a lot of time on the ID50, getting to grips with it, and I was quite lucky to get one. As prior to purchasing this one, all the suppliers were out of stock. I just happened to go on the Martin Lynch website, and he had one listed, and as soon as I purchased it, the item was out of stock. So it must have been one he found in the storeroom, or one that had been reserved for some other person. But it was at the reduced price, so I was very pleased. I've been looking into using the ID50 for picture sharing, so as I said earlier, I shall receive your pictures, the people who send pictures, and see if how it works. I've got the ID50 connected to a tablet, so I should get a good picture. Another use I've got for the ID50 is to work through satellites. And I've looked into the designs for the various satellite antennas, and the Moxon Yagi hybrid looks a good choice. Maybe that's another project. And finally, I'm sorry I won't be at the National Hamfest this year, but circumstances don't allow. So I'm sorry that I'm not going to meet up with some of the group, but maybe next year. Anyway, I'll pass it back, Jeff, and we'll see how the pictures come through a bit later. M0AUG, GAKJJ.
JKJJ in the group M0AG saying, yeah, that's absolutely fine. The pictures from this evening will normally come along, well, I'll sort the order out later on, but normally they come from Bob in 4XAT, followed by GM4JKZ, and then Jeff in Belgium. So that's the normal batting order. we're not just quite finished with this round to be going on with. So, yeah, I'm sorry about it. It's the first time I've missed the rally down there. I was down there last year with Nick and Ken running the sun, and that was good. I don't think I missed a rally down there for however long we've been going, apart from the one straight up to Goldie concerned. But the distance these days is too far to contemplate the trouble from up there on the northwest coast. Well, I'm thinking about you guys, and I hope Nick you're going to be taking pictures during the day, which I'll send out on the WhatsApp group. Anyway, for now, I'll go with the Bob again in the US. November 4 X Alpha Tango Group, M0AG. Zero AG with group November 4 X Alpha Tango. Last week, you missed my quota update, so I'll use this round to do that. Of course, the more new quotas I work, the more difficult it gets to acquire new ones. But as of today at 1500 Zulu, I had 2,714 different, so I can't complain there. 244 of them were DX quotas. Most of those, of course, what I call DX really isn't. It's Canada. But on the other hand, I still have just 24 DX countries and the United States. So I really can't complain about my quota activity. I have been receiving a lot of new badges, and I probably this week I'll get another early morning QSO quota badge, because right now I'm up to 1,790 early morning QSOs, and at 1,800 I'll get another badge added to that award. So it keeps the tap rooms high. And I also have noticed, years ago, 20 meters was good around the clock, and it was good for DX. This cycle has been a lot different. It's been good for U.S. contacts, but DX has only been a little bit usually, and usually it's later in the day. I have noticed, though, that I'm getting more DX during the day. Yesterday I worked HA2PP, who I hadn't worked since 2023, and that was sometime in my afternoon. So 20 meters is starting to change also, and like I said earlier, 40 meters has really changed for me. It's getting better every day. So I'm hoping it holds out for another year or so that I can make more contacts. 80, for instance, at my age, I go for 8 here. 80 could be late at night.
N4XAT.
Jeff, and I'll see you on the next go round. Selection staying in the group M0AG. I will pick you up on the next time round, both for a picture. Look forward to that. I don't know if you still is, but I'll come back to you to give you a chance if you want to put a comment in there, Richard. G4JBA in the group, M0AG. into the group. When he came down, he was most insistent, apart from rearranging the shack, that we'd visited our friends in Staines, Martin and company, and he persuaded me. Not that I needed much persuasion, and I walked out with an IC 705. So, sorry about that. I've joined the 705 club. It's definitely a learning curve. We spent about 3 days with it, and at the moment I'm on the ID52, but for some reason we can't get the transmit working at the moment on the hotspot. But I should be able to receive the pictures, but not send any pictures. So looking forward to that, and having a nice big screen. We also bought a couple of paddles while we were up there. Not that our Morse is up to speed at the moment, but in preparation, I think Keith will probably be more on the paddles before I am. But thoroughly enjoyed the trip there, looking round at all the equipment, and just thinking how much you could spend. But one has to realise there's only so many radios that you can have. I seem to have caught the handhelditis. I've got about 6 hands, which I've accumulated over the time. But one can never have too many, can they? So, apart from that, I'll wish everybody a good week. I shall take part in the next round and look forward to the pictures. M0 AUG, back to you. G4 JBA in sunny Sussex. G4 JBA in the group M0 AUG returning. Yes, well enough. I could tell you this on that. And I hope you enjoy the new radio. I'm sure you will do. I have very numerous in the group already who are very, very pleased with the radios I've had mine, I think for 2 or 3 years now. Mixed up one as well, so I put a lovely radio. I'm very clear on things like the pictures as well. So I'll pick you up on the last round before we go on to the broadcast now, Jim. Thanks very much for joining me this evening. Over to you for your normal work there, Jeff. Oscar November 8, November Tango, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG, there was something wrong there. M0 AUG, nee, when I see that the Golf 0 TVB has pushed the talk, so maybe he wants to come in the next over or so, Jeff. You will take care of that. First of all, congratulations to Bob on your Potter results. Fascinating. And more congratulations to Jim on your 705 and to Mark, Mike Whiskey Zero Delta and Yamak on your Zego 90. Brilliant. And very good, Mike. Tango 30 Tango that you worked that one. That's really nice. I saw yesterday morning on 10 meters, I saw Mariana Islands. Mariana Islands, Kilo Hotel Zero, and the Kilo Charlie Zero Whiskey. I couldn't learn him because competition was too great again, but this was the first time that I heard Mariana Islands in the Pacific, so I was not lucky. And okay, Nick, good that your daughter will take that up. That's brilliant. That would be great for her school and for the children, for the youngsters. I think it's more youngsters, no children. For the youngsters, that would be great. And I wish you all the best there with the team in Newark on the Hamfest there.
I have been there in 2016. I really enjoyed that, and maybe one day I will do that again. Okay, though, I just give it a tip, QX. Okay. Yeah. My activities, QX, I'm not sure if I am. Yeah. Back on yeah. Okay, radio activities. I think that the X has been brilliant, but not brilliant. Very good. Let's say very good on HF. I really enjoyed that. I did a lot of 10 meter and 12 meter contacts nearly every day. This morning I worked into Indonesia. I worked 4 or 5 Indonesian stages on 10 meters around noon. And then I saw the conditions going down actually. So I saw that the K index was raising. But this evening it's coming okay again. And I did some statistics of my activities here. Only for this year I have made 123 deep countries and worked 20 out of the 40 worked all zones. So quite happy with that. Maybe on another note, I have now my own VHF column in the Belgian National Ham Radio magazine from our national society. So this is a new challenge. The first edition has been published, and quite happy with that. And I also had a new HT, a POC radio, a POC radio, DTT on cellar. I got that for €99. Good price, I think, because a lot of my friends are using that as a kind of cheap telephone or so. It also has a brilliant 70 centimeter transceiver, 5 watts, and a big battery, 9,000 milliampere, really brilliant. I never seen that before, so I'm learning also a little bit how that system is working. So quite busy. Okie-doke. I have a picture. For the next offer, it's a little bit a complicated one. This is just to test out how things work in each eye and to see if that will be possible to send that. It's a picture with a lot of colors and little boxes and things like that. Okay, now, Mike 0 AUG, the group, over 8 November Tango.
Alright, November Tango in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yeah, well done on the column in the new publication in Belgium. And we look forward to catching a picture on the next time round. So, before we go back to the top of the list, Paul G0TVB in the group, M0AUG. Did you want to come in? Nothing heard from Paul this time round, maybe he just caught the PTT. Right, let's start with the finals now. Oslo, Germany. DL1BJW with DL8 to PDT in the group. M0 AUG. I hope you had an enjoyable evening, both of you. Over to you, Mike.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey for the final. Yes, thank you very much for this nice evening and very great meeting. It was really a good experience again. And Jeff M0AUG, thank you very much for sharing the net, for doing the honors, HI. And Nick and Amanda and all the others, thank you for representing our club at Newark, upcoming weekend here. And not to be forgotten, Bob, congrats to your achievements there on the POTA front, so to speak. As they say, the early bird catches the worm. I can say the early Bob catches the POTA contact, and you are very successful with it. Very big congratulations to that, my friend. So thank you again, all of you, for your company and good ideas. It was a very nice evening. Looking forward to the next one. And passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango. From my side, 73s.
G0 TVB on frequency.
Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, thank you very much for this interesting evening, and thank you, Jeff, for hosting the net. And yes, congrats to Bob for his success as a quota. It's always amazing to hear it. And congrats to Jeff in Belgium for your successes in radio and especially for the column, the radio magazine. It would be interesting to be able to read the column, your first column there. Perhaps it's possible to get a PDF or so. Might be quite interesting. So an interesting project, especially if you have to continue the column and the other I don't know how in the next numbers of the magazine. So it's quite a project. And yes, Nick and all the others who are going to the Hamfest at New York, I wish you great success and much pleasure, have fun, and it will be quite interesting to hear from the Hamfest. And if you see Martin and the guys from the ICQ podcast, greetings from us. So have a nice evening. Hope to meet you down the block or next week here at the net 73 and 88 from Northern Germany. This was Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango. Handing the microphone back to M0 AUG for the group.
G0 TVB.
G0 TVB.
BTT with the BJW. Thanks for the contributions this evening. In actual fact, Jeff for Oscar remembering
I think we lost Jeff again. We lost Jeff again. So I see Paul is there, G0 TVB. Paul, take the microphone from coordinator of Hammers Tango in the group.
Yeah, okay, G0 TVB returning, and yes, thanks for noticing me the first time. For some reason or other, it wasn't actually, when I did call it didn't work. That's a bit of an interesting thing. I noticed I had a day off work today, not feeling too well. So I decided to see what I could do. I wasn't in a fit state to go to work. So I've downloaded it onto my mobile phone, which is this system for using D-Star on terminal mode. And a bit of fiddly with the, a bit fiddly you might say, with the particularly with the Bluetooth connection. But I've been listening to you for the past half hour through Tuesday, and it sounded perfect. And obviously I'm getting the signal out, but when I tried to call in then when Jeff passed it back to me, I did transmit, but it didn't seem to do anything. So I need to learn a bit more about that. So I'm on a bit of a learning curve with that. So there we are. Anyway, nice to hear everybody on. Yeah, I shan't be able to go to Newark either. I've got something on this weekend, the Hampton Bridge. And yeah, okay, on the going to parts on the air sounds good. Getting all those in the 705, yeah. Didn't want mind the 705. The trouble is I've got a KX3 in it, so that does more than nearly the same thing. I wouldn't want to get rid of the K, so there we are. And I have got a picture, which I've got set up here to send. We've done boats before. This is a different mode of transport, but I hope people like it. I have got a picture. Back to you, Jeff. I'll pass it back to you, Jeff. All right, JL in the group. Zero.
Yeah, okay, and I just look if Mike 0 AUG is back. Mike 0 AUG, are you back online?
Tango Group M0 AUG. I don't think I ever went offline, to be honest now, Jeff. Am I okay now?
We're okay now, Jeff, but I lost you. Okay, no problem, go ahead.
Thanks, Jeff. I think part of the problem that Paul was coming in, the operation on Tuesday was just inflicting, and really, it's a good job we're working on 305 Alpha, because jumping in like that was the problem in locking up the transcoding. So at least it only threw me out and didn't lock the whole system up there. Thanks for that. I've got to know there, Paul. I'll bring you in the end for the pictures when we do this round. So, where were we? We were going back to Nick Fuel finals now. G4IW in the group, M0 AUG.
Yeah, G4IWO returning to the group. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. And I just want a couple of comments, actually. I meant to make it earlier, but Luke, G8KJJ, has been continuing with his fun and games with the Diamond Delta Loop that Hiroki originally was talking about, wasn't he? And he's been going off playing with that and publishing his results of the 10 metre and 15 metre versions. And I think Lou's also made a 12 metre version. And he's been publishing it on the Facebook group, Pennine Facebook group. So thank you for that, Lou. It's a good piece of work. And I think Lou has had some very good DX results with that Delta Loop antenna. And that kind of mirrors the results that Ken G4VZV has had with both the Delta Loop and the Quad Loop in his own home QTH. When at the meeting last night, Frank K4FMH was talking about the work he's been doing on designing portable antennas, and he said that the first one was going to be appearing in Practical Wireless. I don't think Frank realised that it came out today. The digital version of Practical Wireless October edition came out today with Frank K4FMH's article on his Eiffel tenor that he was talking about at the club meeting last night. So quite interesting, and I look forward to the rest of those as well. In terms of going forward, if this is the final, to you and everyone else, Jeff, we've got a meeting in 2 weeks' time with Dave M0BGR, who wrote a couple of articles in Radcom earlier in the year and last year, but on the subject of health and safety in amateur radio. And I would suggest to people, including suggesting to myself sometimes, that having a think about the health and safety implications of what we get up to, whether that's climbing up a ladder to play with an antenna, whether that's doing work at home with soldering, whether it's opening up a radio with power in it to check and take some measurements, whatever it may be. I think just having this talk and a reminder to all of us that we do need to pay attention to health and safety, both for ourselves as operators of this equipment, but also anyone else who happens to be nearby. So I'm looking forward to that talk, and that's going to be on the 17th, Wednesday the 17th of September. So Jeff, thank you very much indeed. Looking forward to the pictures later, and good that we've had a nice group on here this evening on this net. M0AG in the group, G4IWO.
Okay, fine on that. Nick, it's been a good group this evening, mixed and varied, and there are 5 people wanting to put pictures forward now, so that's good as well. So all I can say is have a good time down in Newark there, and hope it's as successful as we had it last year, and a safe journey in both directions there. And the best wishes to you and Ken for everything in there. Sorry we're not with you, but I've done for years and distance, etc. So we'll go over to B2B all finals now. M0 PBF, M0 AUG.
M0 AUG, M0 PBF. Well, thanks, Jeff. for running the net. And thanks to everybody for your conversation this evening. Interesting. I'll say 73 Swirl, and I'll be back to you, Jeff. M0 AUG, M0 PPM.
Zero PBF, in the group M0 Thanks for being up on that this evening, certainly contributions, and I look forward to catching up with you on the alternate on Sunday morning there. So, MW0DIM in the group, M0 AUG for your files, please.
M0 AUG and the group, this is MW0DIM, my final. Yeah, nice interesting chat tonight. Unfortunately, I can't receive any of the photos TV stick in. I was just eating a load of fish and chips earlier, so I didn't want to get my greasy mitts on my iPhone 52. So I just had to just plug in a DVD mega stick. And unfortunately, I can't receive it. Next time I'm on, if I'm on next week, I'll plug in the 52. Just about it, really. I'm just relaxing. My missus has just got back in. She's been out for a little bit. And as soon as I wrap this up now, I'll put a coffee on and watch a bit of TV in bed then. So, yeah, nice chat with a group and everyone. It's, it's a nice way to spend a Thursday. So I'm going to probably pop YouTube on later to see the Pennine hand group, the videos, etc. Right, I'm going to call it the evening now, and I wish M0AUG in the group 73s. I'm going to go clear, because there's no point now, because I can't hold the pictures. But yeah, nice chat. And if I'm on next week, next Thursday, then I'll put a call through. Again, nice chatting, everything. So, right then, M0AUG. M0DIM 73s, and Jack, thanks for welcoming me into the group. 73s and going clear. Bye now, everyone.
M0DIM in the group, M0AUG. Yeah, savvy aboard the group, and look forward to next time. I'm away next week, so my colleague Oscar Van Tango will be sharing the net, another Jeff, and this is, we're in this operation between us, shall we say. So there we go. Thanks for coming on there, Mark, and we look forward to the next time. So, before we go into the pictures, just over to you, Jim Friendly Violence, G4J Group, M0AUG.
Big Golf 4 Juliet Blue Alpha. Not a lot to add to the group. I shall be doing some carpentry during the next few days and adjusting the station equipment. Alar Keith's instructions. So it won't be radio for me. It's deconstruct and reconstruct, but it's all interesting, and I'll try and get some listening in. But I'll be looking forward to this meeting, and also next week I'm on. I've got the Model Engineering Club, so I won't be on, Jeff. But we'll see how things go. Anyway, I'll stand by to receive pictures. So stay well, stay safe, everybody, and we'll speak in a fortnight. M0AUG, back to you, Jeff.
G4J group, M0AUG returning. Yeah, thanks for that, Jim, and thanks for joining the group. And I tell the homework that keeps the set to you, and catch up with you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for joining us this evening anyway. It's picture time now. So what we'll do first of all, the picture order tonight will be Paul G0TVB, followed by Lou JKJJ, by Bob and for XAT, Keith and for JKZ, finally with Jeff, Oscar November 8, number Tango. That's 5 pictures this evening. So let's go on to number 1 now. Your picture, please, Paul. G0TVB in the group, M0AUG.
Yeah, just a bit. I hope you got that one, Jeff, and everybody else. I hope that one came through all right. It looked like it came through fairly quick on here. That's one from a holiday that I took a couple of years ago. Back to you, Jeff. Hope you got M0AUG, G0TVB.
G0TVB, M0AUG. Nice picture there, Paul. I'm just going to pass the comments round to the others, starting with KJJ and 4XAT, GM4JKZ, and Oscar November 8, November Tango. Over to you, Luke.
Yeah, okay, Jeff. Well, I received the picture. There are a few blocks missing, but the tram in Prague looks pretty good. Back to you, Jeff.
Okay then, Lou. Would you like it to be sent again, please?
Oh, no, you carry on with the pictures, Jeff. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks for that. Thanks, Paul, for doing that. It's a very good picture of the tram in Prague there. So thanks for joining in this evening. Okay, it is over to you now, Lou, for your picture. JKJJ in the group, M0AUG.
Yeah, Jeff, I did say earlier that I haven't got a picture. I will receive the pictures, but I'm not transmitting. Go ahead.
Sorry for the misunderstanding there, no problem there. And thanks for joining me this evening. Right, where are we over to now? Over to Bob in the States. November 4XL Alpha Tango in the group, M0AUG. Time for your picture, Bob, please. First of all, Paul, the picture came through fine. I'm missing just a few blocks, and they aren't critical. It's where the word T3 in the beginning, right through the center of it. But all the rest of the picture, that's a beautiful picture. I like that picture very much. And thank you, Jeff, for running the net again. And I'm going to send my picture in high definition tonight. I usually don't use it because it does take a little longer to send the picture, but I think this one is worth it. This is a picture of the German training ship George Folk. Coming behind it, you'll see the Kaiser Wilhelm so stand by and I'll send it photo in a second. sort of blocks on mine, Bob. I'll just pass it over to Jeff for any comments and suggestions. 18T0UG.
I have a perfect picture from Bob and from Paul. Not all both pictures were perfect in my case, but if you send it a high quality and high resolution, Bob, and I don't know if that is the case here, there is a 3-minute limit, and what you could do is in the middle of the picture just stop the picture, wait it for a couple of seconds, and then set the second part go on defending, and that will give a complete picture. But in your case, I think I have it completely. Maybe the last 2 blocks has been clicked on by the 3-minute rule, I think. Back to you, Mike 0AG, group for an economic angle.
Thanks, Jeff, and over to you for your comments, please.
Yeah, like yourself, I've got like a scattergun approach of blocks missing across the whole surface area of the picture. I reckon the US and the Belgian links are far better than the UK links, Jeff. Over to you.
Thanks, Keith. Do you want to try just sending it again, please, Bob, if you don't mind? Well, I'll say 50% is fine, 75%, see if that helps. Over to you, comments, Jeff, please, and Keith.
I have an excellent picture again. No missing dots, 100%. Over to you, Keith.
Yeah, same as before. In different areas and along lines missing white. I'm just wondering whether it may be different